Hello, so this video is going to be about getting mental health support on the NHS and my experiences with it, because I just needed a bit of a rant, to be honest. So as you guys know, if you've seen any of my other videos, my mental health has not been great for a good while now. I contacted the Access team and I had like an assessment on the phone first and then in person with them. I don't know if it's the same everywhere in England and like Wales and Scotland and all that stuff, but here in, I guess, Staffordshire, the Access team is like the main first point of contact if you're in crisis, or if you just need to access like mental health stuff that your GP wouldn't necessarily or can't necessarily do for you, and they're like a 24-hour thing that you can call and text. But so yeah, I spoke to them, and then I basically talked to this woman about the things I was feeling, and I took in like a booklet of all the things I'd been sort of like experiencing, because in the past when I'd gone to like doctors and just to say, you know, I'm suffering with my mental health, usually I'd end up just saying, oh, I'm depressed and anxious, because I just don't know what to say, and so I don't go very in depth into it. So they basically hear that I'm depressed and they're like, okay, try these antidepressants, and my antidepressants haven't helped. But yeah, so I wanted to be a bit more prepared for this appointment, so I wrote down everything, like with the help of my friend Sophie. It was basically all things like executive dysfunction, about how I am with people socially, about my moods, and just the way everything affects me in my day-to-day life and relationships and stuff. So it was just like a list, and then I just told that woman in the first appointment a little bit about everything, and she asked what I wanted from the Access team. So I said I'd like answers about what I'm experiencing, and she said, so you want a diagnosis? Which made it sound like it's a bad thing, but really I just want to know why I'm feeling this way and what I can do to help with more specific care and support and treatment, because yeah, I want to feel better. So she said, well, she referred me to Healthy Minds, which again is a local thing. It's like psychotherapy and all that stuff in primary care in Staffordshire. And then she said I could also have an appointment with one of their psychiatrists as a one-off. So I was like, yeah, sure, okay, I'll do that. I didn't feel like much had been accomplished in this appointment, even though it was more than what a lot of people get on their first visit to such an establishment. She was like, well, what if there is nothing behind it? What if it's just normal? And it's like, well, that's a good attitude to have towards it, isn't it? Your normal is feeling shit all the time, but whatever. So yeah, anyway, I initially, because the Healthy Minds requires you to talk to them on the phone to arrange appointments and to have an initial assessment so that they can work out what they can do for you. I missed the call the first time, and then they sent a letter saying to call them by this certain date, or they'll just assume that I don't want the care anymore. So they'll like just, I guess, discharge me, but I was never really, you know. And that happened because I just couldn't ring them. I got too anxious thinking about ringing them. Before I knew it, the deadline had passed. Along came my psychiatrist appointment, and I use this term quite loosely. This guy, he only ever sees people once, like he doesn't follow up or anything, and he didn't ask me anything really. He read off the screen some of the things I'd previously said to the woman in the first appointment, and said, oh, so you've come looking for a diagnosis. And in the way he said this, it made me feel like it was a bad thing. So I was just like, no, I just kind of want more answers. And he just went on this about like how like labels aren't good, but if I really wanted one, he could give me one. And I said, that's not what I mean, it's not what this is about. And he basically just read off the screen and said, yeah, but what you're going through is quite normal. And I would class it what it sounds like to me, and you have dysthymia, which I looked up, and it is consistent or chronic mild depression, and I disagree with that. But, you know, so in essence, I don't feel like I've listened to it all, but that's pretty standard. I've only been there once. It takes people several visits to get anywhere at all, if they do get anywhere, because the system sucks and it's just against us and whatever. But yeah, so to be fair, I got a bit further than a lot of people do on their first visit. Since then I have spoken with Healthy Minds on the phone, as like having an assessment. I don't know, I don't feel like I talked about everything I was experiencing with them, because it kind of was leading on the phone, which I guess I understand, but I didn't explain like all of the reasons I needed to see somebody, and it was again just said, oh, it's normal, don't worry about it. You have some CBT, but it sounds like it's not that bad. And so I explained to him what the psychiatrist had said, and he was like, yeah, well, I agree, I'd say it is mild because you still have goals. My depression is mild because I still have goals for the future. I don't know what to say about that beyond its really strange criteria. I want in the future to be an actor, and I have other, you know, ideas that I want to do in the future, and that means I'm not that depressed somehow. I don't know, they just seem to have this habit of playing down the way you're feeling as if it's no big deal, and even though I've said, you know, like, it is severely impacting my day-to-day functioning, I struggle so much with everything. Even the things I love to do, I struggle to make myself do them, and sometimes, a lot of the time actually, I can't make myself do them. It's taken me several hours today to get the camera out, even because I knew I wanted to do a video today, and it's taken hours for me to do this. And I really like making YouTube videos, so yeah, I just feel fobbed off, and I know that's pretty normal, and actually I probably got off quite well compared to a lot of other people, but my care, apparently the care I need isn't severe enough to warrant secondary care, which is why, again, I've been referred to Healthy Minds. The first time I went to them was years ago now, and because I'd said at the time a lot of my depression was focused around my gender dysphoria because I wasn't out or anything, and so that was obviously one of the big things that was impacting me at the time, and because of that, and I hadn't even made out as if it was everything. I said to this person when I saw them that first time that it wasn't all about that, but because I'd mentioned it, essentially, she said, well, we can't really do anything for that because we're not specialists in gender. There's nothing we can do for you. Here you go, here's a leaflet about an anger management class, even though I hadn't mentioned anger at all. And that was it. So I already felt kind of like, from that experience, I felt like, well, Healthy Minds, what can they do? They saw me once and was like, sorry, we can't do anything. So when they like contacted me again a few weeks later, do I want to come to this anger management thing? So I just said, no, I don't need that, and discharged myself. Because they said themselves they couldn't do anything. Which is why I went to the access team initially, because I feel like that's the point of contact if you want to see psychiatrists and stuff, and it seems to be the only way to get there, because GPs will just automatically refer you to Healthy Minds and nothing else, and I don't know if they can or can't refer to psychiatrists like directly or anything, but it's just like, this is my only way through, and I feel like there's a big wall in front of me, and of like gatekeeping, like, even like my best friend, like a lot of her videos on YouTube, Sophie's videos, are about mental health and her experiences with the system, and it's just like, you're too severe for this, but you're not severe enough for this help, and essentially it comes down to, well, what do I need to do to prove to you how bad it is? Like, for example, for other people it could be, well, they're suicidal, so they're too in deep for this care, this primary care, but they're not serious enough for this other care, because if they were really serious about it, they'd already be dead, which is so stupid. So many people get told this, and it's ridiculous. What kind of mental health care professional would say to you, you're not serious about being suicidal because you're still alive? You would have done it if you wanted to. Like, what the fuck? That is so messed up. I can't... It's insidious. It really is. And I know that the NHS is struggling with funding and all this stuff, and the mental health care seems to be one of the first things to be cut back on and stuff. But what really gets me is that these people who work in these establishments, they chose to specialise in mental health care, you know, and presumably because they felt passionate about it and wanted to help people. So then why do they seem so apathetic? Why don't they do their best to help people? Why there's that many, so many bad professionals who are the first point of call for people who are really suffering, and that's dangerous to me. It's like, I know people who literally attempted suicide, were in hospital because of it for a few days or weeks, and then they were just discharged. Sorry, we can't help you anymore. They'd literally just attempted suicide. It's just insane. It's so insane. So yeah, I feel kind of fobbed off. I don't know. I mean, on the plus side, I'm referred for CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy. So I'm really hoping that helps me. My antidepressant dosage has been increased because it's literally doing nothing for me. If I get to the top dose and nothing improves, then I'll just stop, because it's clear that at least SSRIs aren't going to be helpful. I mean, the one I'm on now is not doing anything. The one I was on before didn't do anything. They're both the same kind of antidepressant, so I assume that means this group is not going to help me. I mean, I could be wrong, I don't know. I'm not an expert, but most of the experts don't seem to know all that much these days. Yeah, so that's where I am at the moment. So I guess it's just important to keep fighting, keep going back until you get the right help that you need. And I know that next time I go to the Access team, if I need it, and let's face it, I probably will, because what can these healthy minds people really do? I know that I'm going to request to see a specific person, because Sophie in particular has had a lot of bad experiences with the Access team, and has only ever found one person that has actually listened and seems to care and has actually been helpful. So I'm going to try and see if I can specifically see her. I don't know if you can request specific people, but it's worth a try. I don't see why you couldn't. Even if it means waiting a bit longer. I'd wait longer if I get the right sort of help and get referred to the right sort of people who can help and who will listen and who can shed some light on this beyond just, oh, you're sad, you've got low moods, you are tired, you're just depressed. And that is like the kind of language they use, just depressed, just depression, which is ridiculous. Even if it was just depression, which it very well could be. There's no just about it. Depression can be very severe, and in my case I feel like it is quite severe. But because I've never actually attempted suicide, they don't consider it that severe, even though I feel suicidal a lot. I'm a person who is very afraid of pain and all that sort of stuff, and there are a few reasons why I couldn't attempt suicide. I mean, I've been close before, in all fairness, but whatever, because of the fact I've never made a serious attempt, that means my depression is mild, even though it affects me every single day, every single second I'm awake. It's there. Whether it's visible to other people or not is another thing, but it's always there. It's always there, and there are so many other things that I suffer with. Like, I'm not saying I mean other illnesses or whatever, but it's not just low mood. It's that many other things, and I feel like I can't go through all of it in one appointment, because I feel like I've just like got this book and I'm just like I'm dealing with this, and that's as if that's a bad thing, because like it's like I've compiled a list of what's wrong with me, and that's not the case at all. I'm just trying to explain how I'm feeling, but because the only way I know how to do that is through that list, because how else do you talk about every little thing that when there's so many? And because of that, I don't feel like I'm articulating well enough my experiences, because when I'm talking, they're just hearing, oh, he's got low moods, he's tired and struggles to sleep and overeats sometimes and has no motivation. Yeah, that's all true, but there's behind those few things, there's so many more things that is impacting, and it's just, my battery's really low. Yeah, I ranted a little bit there. I don't even know if what I have said has made much sense, but I've done it now, and let me know what you think and your experiences in the comments or on social media or whatever. It's nice to hear other people's experiences, and you know you're not so alone. So I hope this can... I mean, it's not a positive video, so it's not going to be uplifting anybody, but I hope it's at least making somebody feel less alone in it, and that, you know, you can talk about it. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Thanks for enduring if you watched the whole thing. I will see you in my next video, which will hopefully not be too far away, because I really need to step up this scheduling thing if I can. Oh, in other news, I have an agent now. Woo! That's good. So not everything's bad. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.